All right, I'm the Flat Rate Master, and let's talk about, well, should you open your own shop? So a lot of times I get comments devaluing working for other people, and a technician should, open their own shop. I get questions about that. For me, why don't I own my own shop? There's lots of reasons why it may not be the best option for you. So we're going to talk about it. Let's talk about the big one. You need a place to work. Commercial property is expensive. A lot of places don't let you work out of your garage at your house, so you have to have capital to lease a building. $1,000, $2,000, $3,000 and up for just the shop a month in rent. Then you've got insurance. Then you've got utilities. You have to have enough income to support that kind of, cost. All right, this is the editing Flat Rate Master, and there's something I forgot to talk about in this video, and that is the complete loss of efficiency while doing your own thing. When you're a one-man shop, so let's talk about the efficiency loss from being a one-man shop. I've been a one-man shop. You're ordering parts, you're talking to customers, you're answering phones, you're doing scheduling, you're doing QuickBooks, you're doing all the administrative stuff and fixing cars. And that can be very difficult to manage it all because your efficiency as a technician drops to the floor with all the other stuff. Think about that service writer that's always bugging you, asking you for, when's this car going to be done? Think about that times 12, because you'll have customers calling you about their car that's you're working on right now, cars you haven't touched yet, making appointments, wanting pricing, all that kind of stuff. And your efficiency just goes out the window because you're so overwhelmed by everything else. You go to work on a car and, parts show up. So you got to sign for those. And then this happens, and this happens. And all of a sudden you're 4 hours into the day and you haven't gotten that 1 hour job done yet because you're dealing with all the other stuff. So it's really important to understand that going into being a small shop. Talking about in the video is that, yes, you can definitely make more money as a shop owner than you can as a technician. That's a fact, but you can also make a lot less because of those issues. So just wanted to add this to the video because I forgot to film it when I did the video. So most people do not understand profit and loss statements, don't understand how to actually run a business. They think, I open the doors and all of a sudden all these people will come clamoring to me because of whatever. And it really does not work that way. It can, depending on the situation you're in, but the fact of the matter is if you're in a larger community, it's like a restaurant. A new restaurant opens up in your town and you don't see anybody in the parking lot, you're probably not going to eat there. And that's one of the biggest challenges of a new shop is getting enough revenue to support that business. So most people in any type of business rarely start with enough capital. That's one of the biggest things. So when you're talking, I'm a technician and I want to open my own shop, how much money do you have? The joke about, almost every business is, you want to make a small fortune in this business? Start with a large fortune. You're going to need a lot of capital. You're going to need at least a year of your personal salary saved up unless you magically open up and are slammed. That's a reality. I was in this shop on day one when we opened. The boss had all of our incomes in the bank. He had plenty of capital. That was one of the reasons why I was willing to come work for him, is because of what he was offering and what he had in reserve to operate this business starting out. And you got to understand that. That's one of the biggest hurdles to being a small business owner, is that startup capital. The predominant feeling is you find a one bay somewhere, you hang up a sign, and all of a sudden you're making bank. you have a side business set up and you're charging appropriately with those customers, yes, you might be busy enough for a little bit, but the fact of the matter is until you get to the point where you can pay yourself enough money to actually survive, it's really difficult to open your own business. And there's a reason most small businesses fail. It's because of that kind of problems. They don't understand the amount of startup capital you need. They don't understand that you need to have, well, cash flow. You need to have cash in reserve for, expenses that you didn't expect. That new piece of equipment that you've got to have because there's a lot of stress involved in a startup. You hire any employees, well, you got payroll expenses, you have that payroll expenses being, whatever system you use to actually write the check. Don't ever 1099 anybody, don't. Very sketchy thing to 1099 an employee and can get you in a lot of legal trouble if they catch you. And then you've got to worry about, well, do I have enough cash to make that payroll? Opening a business is not wonderful, it's great. No, it's a lot of stress. There's a lot of companies out there that do management training because so many shop owners do not understand how to run a business. Too many of them come from the tech area and don't really understand the business. One of the things that me and my boss talk about is because I've been a business owner, I'm currently a business owner, I understand, profit loss, ultimate costs of doing this versus that. I understand all that stuff. Am I an expert on it? No. But most people aren't either. And a lot of business owners in every industry rarely understand everything they should. People out there that their shops will bill $1.5 million in revenue and their take home is, for the owner, is less than their best paid tech. That's not uncommon. My boss has done coaching for management companies, programs like that. And he's told me stories about so many shops that are so poorly run in not insignificant ways. And that's the reality of auto repair or any business is you've got so much stuff that you've got to manage as an owner. And most people are very ill prepared for that. And they don't understand that. They think, hang a shingle, I'm making bank. Instead of making, $20 an hour, I'm making $80 an hour. No, the shop makes $80 an hour. You got to pay all the expenses before you pay yourself. That's an important thing to understand, is that most people don't understand that. Years ago, I've told this story before, but when I had my shop, I had a customer come in. Her husband had done a bunch of maintenance work on his truck, and she was looking over my bill. Now, my bills were itemized. I had all of my prices on the bill. It was not hidden. It was, this is what I charge per hour. This is how many hours I charge for. This is, and she goes, now she was an accountant. And her response was, oh, I wish, talking to her husband, I wish you made $80 an hour. And I go, I wish I did too. That was what my labor rate was in the shop. But the fact of the matter is that's not what I made because I had to pay for the shop rent. I had to pay utilities, insurance, all that kind of good stuff. Before you run out and start a business, go get management training. Understand business before you get into business. It is crucial to the success of that business. Developing a business plan. Modifying that business plan as you go about it. Understanding why you're changing that business plan, because you're gonna have to change it. That's the reality of owning a business. You have to dodge and weave. I don't want to discourage people from going out and opening their own shop, but the fact of the matter is that it's not a easy, just do it and you're done, you're making bank. Doesn't work that way in the real world for most people. Now again, your mileage will vary, but it's a cautionary tale. That's why I work here and don't have my own shop. So as always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.